Hi, I'm Luke Watson. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Grimsby and I play centre for the Blackburn Hawks.
This episode I'm joined with Blackburn Hawks number 11, Luke Watson. I think we're just going to get straight into it, Luke, with
Sounds good.
what got you into hockey and from what age did you start training?
So I think I started playing when I was about 9 or, I think probably about 8 or 9. My dad played hockey, so I think I initially started playing football first and wanted to be a footballer, but I was not very good at that. So, 8 or 9 years old, started playing ice hockey. Dad taught me. It was kind of, it was really nice.
What position did you play in football?
Out of position.
You usually put the tall ones up front or in defence.
No, I think back then I was probably a defender or a goalkeeper, but just not my sport really.
I've been made aware that you used to play with glasses. Is that right? And how did you get on playing with that? It must have got annoying at some point with them sliding down.
Yeah, I think it was shortly after I started playing and I realised I couldn't really see the puck too much sometimes. So I think, when I was growing up in the juniors, I wore glasses and my eyesight's actually really bad. So, I actually needed them to play. So, I kind of wore them all throughout juniors. It did get annoying at times. They kind of like fog up. I got used to it. And then when I got to uni, actually, I started, got some contacts and it's a much better experience.
How did you manage to play with the cage on with the glasses? Did it not get seeing when it fogged up and then with the...
Yeah, I mean, I guess visors get fogged up as well, so it's not like I had 2 levels of fog, but I managed somehow, made it work.
Equipment-wise, because you're 6'7", do you have any equipment that's made specifically for you, or do you have to adapt to normal equipment?
I think I've kind of adapted now, to be fair. I used to play with an extension in the top of my stick to, make the stick a little bit longer, but actually I found that right now I don't have one in. I find that it improves my stance a little bit, it makes me bend my legs a bit more, which helps with my skating, and I need as much help with that as I can. I don't play with an extension to stick at the minute. I get by with all the other kit. I think the most noticeable thing is probably the leg pads. I think they're probably the largest leg pads in the league, maybe.
Whilst we're on the topic of your height, do you feel like you're sometimes targeted in fiery games because of your height, or do you think it's just as much as any of the other lads?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's height alone. I think I'm maybe a little bit easier to catch than some of the others. And also kind of the way I play the game, I try to play within the rules and, on the right line. I am a bit more of a physical player, I think, than some of them. So, you attract that physicality as well, I think, when you go into the corners and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say it's just the height. I think there's probably a few things that contribute.
I can get the gist that your family comes and watches you quite a lot. Does that mean a lot to you when you're playing? Do they come and watch every game? Or? Yeah,
it's really nice actually. So my sister has travelled quite a bit in last year with a boyfriend to come and watch, and that's been it's amazing. It's always great having them there. Travelled around the country really without me even knowing, and sometimes I get a text maybe just before I'm about to go on the ice and I'll go, we'll see you after the game, and it's a really nice surprise. So I love having them there. They don't get to every game obviously, but they do travel to a lot more than they probably should. So
do you have games where they've surprised you, like you didn't have a clue until after you got off the ice? Or?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think one of the best ones was probably Billingham in the Cup last year, the second leg, and I was just on warm-ups in Billingham, and I looked up and I stood at the side of the glass. So that was a really cool moment.
Does it help you play, I won't say play better, but knowing that they're there is a bit more support to
Yeah, it's always nice. You kind of want to perform. Sometimes you maybe feel a little bit of pressure if you've got people there watching you. You think they've travelled a long journey, and you do want to perform, but it's the same as anything. We get a lot of very loyal fans who travel all the time, so I think being in Blackburn, you're kind of used to that pressure.
I guess with sometimes when your family's coming down, you try not to slip over on the ice during warm-ups. I bet they've reminded you of that all week, haven't they?
Are you going to clip that video in?
We can try. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, not a highlight of my life. Thankfully, they didn't see that, and I haven't until this moment. But I'm sure they'll be asking me for it after. Yeah.
What does game day look for you? Like pre-game meal, coming down from a game.
Yeah, it's the morning I try and get a bit of a lie in, not do too much. Then when I get up, I like to kind of get the legs going a bit. So if we've had a game before, I'm a bit tight, I'll probably do some stretching, something like that. Tend to go for a walk then as well, just before lunch. Pre-game meal, it varies, but I think my favourite is avo toast with a couple of eggs. And then when I get to the rink normally around 4ish. Again, if I feel like I need a warm up, I go outside with the boys, play some two touch, or just do my own stretching, that type of thing. And then after warm up, actually shout out to Elaine, who always gets me my cup of coffee ready.
I always see that you coming off, you get handed a cup straight away.
Oh, it's excellent service here, yeah. So thanks, Elaine. But then after the game, I think it takes a while for me to kind of wind down a bit. So sort of normally watching a bit more sport. There's some, if there's any hockey on, I'll watch that, or American football or something like that. But I do find that sometimes after a game, you're still buzzing a little bit. So it takes a little bit longer to fall asleep, I think.
So if it wasn't ice hockey, what other sport would you have done?
Great question. Maybe none, to be honest. No, I mean, I think football's the most popular, right? I can still play a little bit, not too good. I'd probably say football. I know that's a boring answer.
All his skills come out during that two touch before the games.
That's it, brushing up.
Yeah. What do you do in your spare time? Because I know a few of the lads play golf. Do you join in on them golf days? Or?
I'm afraid not. No, I'm not much of a golfer. To be honest, I like to spend a lot of time with my friends. With the hockey season being so intense, and obviously work as well is pretty full on at the minute. So the spare time I get is kind of spent with my friends, my girlfriend, and we kind of go around Manchester, explore, find some new restaurants, new pubs, things like that. I really, really value that time.
I feel like most hockey lads tend to like to travel, and you're one to travel as well. You've been to Italy, Spain, Czech. Is there anything else on the horizon coming up, or anywhere that you want to go to? Yeah,
there's some in the works actually. So I think me and some of the uni boys are going to try to get to Malta this year for a week, which would be very nice. Been trying to do that for a couple of years now, so hoping it comes off. And then I think maybe a couple more trips into Europe. So I'm not done much of France, and I'd like to do Amsterdam as well at some point.
Did you set any New Year's resolutions for yourself, or?
I'm not one for resolutions, I don't think. I think the only thing I did maybe consider was trying to eat a little bit better, so less processed foods. We watched a documentary on processed foods, and I think it's one of those things that you immediately go, oh, what have I been eating all this time? Not go too extreme with it, but just cut out certain things here and there and try to be a bit more aware of it, I think.
I feel like sometimes resolutions just puts a bit more pressure on you to change quite a bit, but
absolutely, and then you feel bad as well when you don't necessarily meet your resolutions. So I think rather than make them hard and fast, I think trying to do things in moderation and that type of thing probably a little bit better.
What would your advice be for someone coming into a sport like ice hockey?
I think just give it a go. I think we're, as you say, we still fall over now, so you've got to be willing to fall over. I think get yourself on public skates and stuff like that, and see if it's for you. Once you've got the hang of skating, then you can pick up a stick and put some kit on. So give it a go. Don't be afraid to fail. Just enjoy it.
And one last thing, what is your comfort thing for if there's any nerves or anxiety coming up to big games? What would your comfort thing be?
I don't know, to be honest. I think my comfort thing in general is hockey, to be honest. When it's sometimes a nice escape. When things are going on at work and you just want a bit of a relax. Get down to the rink and kind of clears your head for sure. In terms of nerves for big games, I don't know. I quite like listening to music, that type of thing, but. I think I've played enough hockey now to sort of manage those nerves. as best as I can, to be honest. So yeah, but I'd probably say music.
What type of music do you listen to?
Oh, it varies. I think in the dressing room at the minute we're in a bit of a country phase. I think, and then, Paul's the playlist master. He's got a playlist for every occasion. So yeah, whatever Paul's got on really, I think is...
Does he do the music every game or...?
Yeah, he's took control and I don't think anyone's too upset with that. So yeah, he can keep doing it.
Oh, thank you so much, Luke.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.